What's up and how you guys doing? I am Reese Farmer and we're going to be learning ethical hacking today. So give me 1 second. Let me go to What's up and how you guys doing? I am Reese Farmer and we're going to be learning ethical hacking today. So give me 1 second. Alright, I got that all set up. Let's jump right to it. So what I'm going to be doing here is just basically creating a series of just basically learning, ethical hacking. I've really been wanting to learn this, and my buddy has been doing it for a while. So let's jump right to it.
Hello and welcome. My name is Zaid. I'm an ethical hacker, a computer scientist, and I'll be your instructor in this course. In this course, I'm going to teach you ethical hacking from scratch. So I'm going to assume that you have no prior knowledge, and by the end of it, you'll be at a high intermediate level. So we'll start by teaching you how to set up a penetration testing lab and how to install the needed software so you can practice hacking safely. Once done, the course is divided into 4 main penetration testing sections. The first is the network hacking section, where you'll learn how networks work, how devices communicate with each other, and how to exploit this method of communication to control all the connections around you, crack Wi-Fi keys and gain access to Wi-Fi networks, whether they use web, WPA or WPA2, and intercept data to capture usernames, passwords, chat messages, or anything that anybody does on the same network. Once done with this, we'll move to the gaining access section, where you'll learn how to gain access to servers and personal computers. So first, you'll learn how to gather comprehensive information about your target, discover vulnerabilities, and exploit them to gain full control over the target system. Not only that, but you'll also learn how to generate undetectable backdoors and use social engineering to deliver them to your target as a fake update or as a PDF or an image or any other file that they might be interested in. You'll also learn how to spoof emails, so when they're delivered to your target, they appear as if they're sent from a friend, from their boss, or from any address that they're likely to interact with. Once done with all of this, we'll move to the post-exploitation section, where you'll learn what can you do with the access that you gained in the previous sections. So you'll learn how to interact with the file system, how to execute system commands, record keystrikes, open the webcam, and even use the hacked computer as a pivot to hack into other computers. Once done with all of this, we'll move to the website hacking section, where you'll learn how websites work, how to gather comprehensive information about a target website, and how to discover and exploit a number of dangerous vulnerabilities that allow you to gain full control over the target website. At the end of each section, you'll learn how to secure systems and secure yourself from the discussed attacks. Now, before we dive into the course content, I'd like to give you a teaser or a taste of what you'll be able to do by the end of the course. So this is going to be one example that's based on one topic that's covered in one subsection of the course. Now, because this is a teaser lecture, I'm not going to explain the technical aspect of how am I doing this, because I'm going to teach you how to do this as you go through the course. For now, just sit back and enjoy this lecture, and after this lecture we're gonna dive into the course content, where you'll learn how to do things like this and much more. So in this video I'm gonna give you an example of hacking this Windows computer from this Linux machine. So in this example I'm gonna use a program called Beef, which is a browser exploitation framework. I'm gonna launch it from here. And the way this works is it uses a JavaScript code to hook a target computer, and then once a computer is hooked, we'll be able to run a number of commands. Now to do that, I'm gonna use a man-in-the-middle attack to automatically inject the hook code for beef. So I'm gonna use a tool called man-in-the-middle F, and I'm gonna do an ARP spoofing attack, and I'm gonna give it my network interface, and I'm gonna give it the gateway, and I'm gonna give it the target IP address, which is the address of the Windows machine. Then I'm gonna tell it that I want you to inject a JavaScript URL, and I'm gonna give it the location where the hook code is stored. I'm gonna hit enter, and that's it running. Now I know this looks very complicated, you don't know where I got the options from, all of this looks confusing, but again, don't worry about that. We're gonna talk about this and go through this step by step, so it'll be very easy for you. Right now, all you need to understand is this program is going to inject the hook code, so the code that allows beef to hack into that computer, into the browser of the target person, so that the code will run without the person even knowing. So I'm gonna go to my Windows machine, I'm gonna run the web browser, and I'm just gonna go to any website, so I'm just gonna go to bing.com. Now if we go back to the Kali machine, you'll see that we have the IP address of the target person under the hooked browsers. And if we click on the commands tab, you'll see a large number of categories with commands that you can run on the target computer. Again, we'll talk about that later in future videos. What I'm interested in is a plugin which allows us to show a notification bar on the target computer. And what I'm gonna say in that notification bar is I'm gonna say that there is a new update, click here to install it. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna show the target person that there is a new update, and once they install that new update, I'll hack into their computer. To do that, I'm gonna have to use a backdoor. Now I've already made a backdoor that's not detectable by antivirus programs. I'm not gonna show you how to do that now, but in the course you'll learn how to do that. So right now I'm just gonna say where I stored the backdoor, and I called it update.exe. So that's it, that's all done. I'm gonna click on execute, and that will execute it for me. Now before I go and run the update, I'm going to listen for incoming connections so that I can connect to the target computer once they try to update their computer. So again, I'm going to explain why we need to do this and how to do this in future lecture. Right now I'm just going to do it very quickly. And once we do that, if we go on the target machine, you'll see that their Firefox is telling them there is a critical update, and you need to click here to install that update. I'm going to click it, and you can see that it's downloading an update file for me. I'm gonna save it. Now that's downloaded for me. So if I go to my downloads, just to show you what the file look like, you can see that it looks like a normal file. It has a nice icon. If we run it, we'll actually get an installer that will update Flash for us, but at the same time this is going to execute my backdoor at the background. Don't worry about this, I'm gonna teach you how to make your Trojans or your evil files look and function just like any other file. So you can have a picture, a PDF, or an installer like I have in here that works like a normal file, but at the same time when it gets executed, it'll execute your evil code in the background. So now even though that the target person is happy, they think they're installing an update for their Flash player, if we go back to the Kali machine, you'll see that we managed to get a reverse session from the Windows machine. So I'm gonna interact with that computer, and now I'm inside it. So I can do so many things with the target computer. I basically have full control over that computer. And we're gonna talk about all the things that you can do in the post connection section of this course. What I wanna do now is I wanna show you how to access the webcam of the target computer. So we're gonna use a plugin that comes with Meterpreter. So I'm just gonna do webcam stream. I'm gonna hit enter. And as you can see, I managed to turn on the webcam of the target computer. So this is actually a webcam that's attached to the Windows machine. And right there, you can see me, and I basically hacked into the Windows machine. I can do anything I want on the Windows machine, and I can also turn the webcam. I can inject a keylogger. I basically have full control over that machine. Now again, this is just an example of one attack that we're going to use. We're going to do so many more attacks like this, and all of them are going to allow us to gain full control over the target system. So don't worry about how to do this attack, don't worry about the commands, don't worry about all of that. This is just a teaser, a simple taste of the things that you'll be able to do by the end of the course. Own or do not have permission to test. Now, one big question that people always ask. Now, as I promised you, this course is going to be highly practical, but I also promised that I will not neglect the theory. Now, what we mean by hacking is being able to gain access to a system that you're not supposed to have access to. So for example, logging into an email account that you're not supposed to have access to is considered hacking that account. Gaining access to a remote computer that you're not supposed to have access to is hacking that computer. Reading information that you're not supposed to be able to read, again, is considered hacking. So you can see that there is a large number of ways to hack into a system, and the word hacking can refer to a number of things, but the main concept is the same. Gaining access or being able to do things that you're not supposed to be able to do is considered hacking. Now, there are three main types of hackers. We have the black hat hackers. These are the bad people that hack systems illegally in order to steal money or to achieve their own illegal goals. The second part of hackers are the white hat hackers. So this is us. These people use the same techniques used by the black hat hackers, and they also hack into systems, but they only hack into systems that they have permission to hack in order to test the security of these systems. And finally, we have the gray hat hackers. These are a mixture of the two. So they'll hack into any system, even if they don't have permission to test the security of the system, but they will never steal money or damage that system, and in most cases they'll go ahead and tell the administrator of that system. But what they do is still illegal because they test the security of systems that they do not own or do not have permission to test. Now, one big question that people always ask is, why hacking? Why teach or learn hacking? Well, hacking is an existing industry. There are lots of job opportunities for ethical hackers, for people like us who would go ahead and test the security of systems to make sure that these systems are secure and not vulnerable to black hat hackers. There is actually a huge demand for ethical hackers these days because of the increased amount of hacking attacks. So we hear on the daily, big systems and big companies are getting hacked. Not so long ago, Uber got hacked and information of more than 56 million users were exposed. So companies like Uber, Facebook and Google, they hire hackers in order to try and hack into their systems and tell them where the weaknesses are so that they can fix it. They also have bug bounty programs where they literally ask all the hackers around the world to go ahead and try to hack into their websites and with their web applications, and if they could, they will pay them a bounty for the bugs that they find. As I mentioned, this course is going to be highly practical. Therefore, you will need a lab, a place where you can practice and experiment with the things that you're going to learn in the course. Not only that, but having a lab is essential for hackers or pen testers, because let's say you discovered a new attack or you want to experiment with a new attack, or you learned something new online and you want to test it, then the perfect place for you to test this and practice hacking is a hacking or a testing lab. Now to create a lab, you just need a number of computers with different operating systems, and you'll need a number of networks if you're testing network attacks, and if you're testing website attacks, then you will need to install websites on these computers. Or you can do all of this inside your computer, inside one machine, and install everything else as virtual machines. And this is what we're going to do. So let's say you have your computer right here. This is your main computer that you use every day to check your emails or even to watch this course. This computer might be running Windows, OS X or Linux. It doesn't really matter. It can run any operating system. You can keep all the programs that you love and like, and install a virtualization software such as Virtualbox. A virtualization software allows us to create a number of virtual computers inside your main computer. So we can have 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 computers all installed inside your main operating system, inside your main computer. The really cool thing about this is you will not need a number of computers. You can do everything inside a single computer. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a hacking machine. This is going to be the machine that we will use in order to hack into other machines. We're going to install Kali Linux on it, and we'll talk about what that is later on. And we're going to have 2 target machines. These are machines that we're going to try to hack into and practice hacking against. One of them is going to be running Windows, and the other one is going to be running an operating system called Exploitable, and we will talk about that once we get to it. Now, it is very important to understand that you will not lose any functionality when you install an operating system as a virtual machine. You can use that machine exactly as if it's a real physical machine. So the really cool thing about using virtual machines, first of all, you're not going to lose any functionality. Second, all the machines are going to be isolated. So as we go through the course, we're going to be trying to hack into these machines, and we might actually break one of them. But that's fine. It will not affect your host machine. You will be able to easily fix this and go back to a snapshot of when the machine was working without affecting your main computer. The other cool thing is that you'll be able to have a number of different versions of each of these machines, and you'll be able to change the configuration easily, change the network settings, or switch between different states of these machines, and so on. So, by using virtualization, you will not lose any functionality, but you will gain so many cool features. And the main thing to keep in mind is your host machine, your main computer, will never be affected. It's completely isolated, and if we break any of these machines, nothing will happen to your precious computer that you use every day. And this way, you can always use your host machine for daily use, for checking emails, watching the videos, doing whatever you do normally, and then use your virtual machines for hacking and practicing the attacks. And this is what I actually do. So you can see I have my host machine running OS X, and I never use this for hacking. But right here I have Virtualbox, and as you can see I have a number of operating systems installed on it, and I can literally start any of them by selecting the one I want and just click on start. Now don't worry about this, I will show you how to install these virtual machines as we go through the course. But what you need to do right now is download and install Virtualbox, this program. So you can download it from this page. I'm going to include its link in the resources. And like I said, you can install Virtualbox on Windows, OS X or Linux, so it supports all operating systems. Just pick your operating system from here,
Alright, it's time to download Virtualbox. download the software real quick. Okay, let's install it, get everything set up. Okay, definitely want to install it on my D drive. Okay, next. Back to the video, let's see here.
Download the relevant installer and install it. Install the extension pack. This will give you better compatibility and it will allow you to use USB devices on the virtual machines. So you'll be able to use a USB mouse, USB keyboard, and USB wireless adapters. Again, downloading and installing the extension pack is very simple. There is only one file. It's always the same file for all operating systems. It's the same for Windows, for Linux, for OS X. You just have to click on the download link in here. Once you download that, I already have it downloaded, so I have it right here. And this file will only work if Virtualbox is installed successfully. So first of all, install Virtualbox from these links right here, like I said. Once you download it and install it and can see a window similar to this without these machines right here, we'll see how to install these later. Then download the extension pack from here. You'll have its file similar to this file, and only then you can double click this file and it will automatically open in Virtualbox. As you can see, it's telling me that I want to install the extension pack. It's giving me the version, which is the same version as the version of the Virtualbox that I downloaded. It has to be the same version, otherwise it will not work. I'm gonna click on install. We're gonna agree to this license. I'm gonna put my password. And as you can see, it's telling us that the extension pack is installed successfully. So now we can go ahead and install virtual machines in Virtualbox. Now throughout the course, we're going to be using a number of penetration testing tools. You can go ahead and install each of these tools manually, or you can do what most pen testers do, including myself, and save time and effort and use an operating system designed for hacking. We're going to be using an operating system called Kali Linux.
Okay, let's download Kali Linux. Let's see here. Resources. Install Kali Linux. ISO.
You have a foundation of strong value.
Nope. Okay. Let's see here. Find the download page. VMware, let's see. What software do I have installed? Virtual machine, VMbox, shit. Come over here. See if this works. Right, it's gonna take a while to download. downloading the right one? Wait up, cancel this one. Cancel. We want Virtualbox images. Right. Wait, let me set up my downloads. Where I have my downloads go to, because I don't want this to overload my C drive. Let's see. Settings, advanced downloads, change, G drive. New folder. Downloads. Select folder, boom. Okay, fix that. So let's go to, let's see. So I want that, and then go over here. Catalyst custom. Let's see, this should be the one that should be downloading. Alright. So far the course is pretty good. He's hopefully going to be really in-depth with the labs and stuff. I'm hoping everything's going to turn out good. I'm excited. I can't wait to start this course. And in the past I've used Udemy to learn game coding, how to make triggers and stuff. So I'm pretty excited about it. So wait for this to download. Alright, let's go mess around and play a game. Let's go to, let's see. Mess around conjugate for a little bit while we're waiting for the download to finish. Tower defense, oh my god. Let's just mess around with something for a little bit. Just pick a random game. Oh, baby, let's do Minor Dash. I wonder what this game is. Do 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 do. So we're going to do this. Come over here, come over to Oracle, new, other, let's see how he says the setup. Go back to the course.
And it's just a flavor of Linux based on Debian, and it comes in with all the programs and the applications that we need to use pre-installed and pre-configured. This means that we can just install this operating system and then start learning or hacking. There are two options to install Kali. You can install it as a virtual machine inside your current operating system, or you can install it as a main machine, as a main operating system. Throughout the course, I'm actually going to be using it as a virtual machine, because using it as a virtual machine works exactly the same as installing it as a main machine, because it will be completely isolated from your computer, because it's only going to run inside Virtualbox. So if you break it or if you mess things up, it's very, very easy to fix. It's very easy to go back to other snapshots, other configurations, and also you won't lose any functionality by using it as a virtual machine. That's why I always use it as a virtual machine. And in this lecture, I'm going to cover how to install it as a virtual machine inside Virtualbox. Now I'm going to be doing the steps on a Mac OS X computer, but these steps are exactly the same regardless of what operating system you use. So if you're on Windows or on Linux, you just have to download the Virtualbox version of your computer, and then the steps shown in this lecture are exactly the same after installing Virtualbox. So I'm going to include the download link in the resources of this lecture, and I have it already opened in here. All you have to do is just scroll down. Make sure you click on the Kali Linux Virtualbox images, not on the VMware, and then download the version of Kali that's compatible with your system. So if you have a 64-bit computer, download the 64 bits. If you have the 32 bits, download the 32 bits. Now one click on this will start the download for you. If you're using Internet Explorer or Edge browser, then you're going to have to right click and save target as. On Chrome and Firefox, you can just click the link. Now this is downloading for me, and I'm going to stop it because I've already downloaded it. So I already have it downloaded in here. And as you can see, you should get a file with a .ova extension. So you have the name followed by .ova in here. So to install this in Virtualbox, all you have to do is literally just double click the file. And as you can see, I get a window which will allow me to import this virtual machine. Now I'm going to keep everything the same for now, and I'm just going to click on import. Now that's it, the virtual machine is ready to be used. Now before I start it, I want to show you how to modify some of its settings. So we're going to click on it, then we're going to click on the settings in here. Now depending on the host operating system you're using, the layout of Virtualbox might be slightly different, but using it is exactly the same. So make sure you follow the steps that I'm gonna do right now, and it should work on all operating systems, whether you use Windows, Linux, or Mac OS X. So the first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to System, and I'm gonna modify the amount of RAM it has. Now depending on how much total RAM you have on your computer, you can leave this at 2 if you want, but 1 GB is enough for Kali. I usually leave it at 2 because I have 16 gigs of RAM, but if you have less, 1 GB is enough for it. Also, if you come here on the processors, you'll see that by default I have 2 processors assigned to it. Again, I have 8 CPUs, so 2 is not gonna cause too much pressure on my computer. If you have less, 1 CPU is enough for Kali. Now, we're gonna go to the network settings, and we're gonna set this to use a NAT network. Now sometimes when you set this to a NAT network,
Okay, so that's importing the virtual disk. Gotta wait for a little bit. Let's go play another game. While we're waiting for that to get done. Oh, baby, I love the way every day. Oh, baby, night and day. Freaking love Mahjong. This game's so challenging. The Dimension one. Oh my god. Come on now, don't play with me. See that download got done, and Kali Linux did install. Perfect. Right. Detail. Settings. Processor, two CPUs. Okay, back to video.
Network, you won't see a network name in here. If you don't, please check out my link. Gonna cause too much pressure on my computer. If you have less, one CPU is enough for Kali. Now, we're gonna go to the network settings, and we're gonna set this to use a NAT network. Now, sometimes when you set this to a NAT network, you won't see a network name in here. If you don't, please check out my link in the resources and it will show you how to create a NAT network. For me, it already has a NAT network, so I'm going to keep it on this one. And what this setting basically does is it's going to create a virtual network where my host machine, which is my Mac OS X computer in here, is going to be the router for this network, and then all the virtual machines are going to be clients connected to this network. So they're going to get internet connection from my host machine, and at the same time all of my virtual machines will be connected to a virtual network. This is very handy because my virtual machines will be able to communicate with each other. We can use one of them to hack into the other. We can use it to test network attacks and much more. So it'll first allow my virtual machines to...
So, gotta set up NAT network. So you should go to his resources. Let's see. Fix the NAT network.
You have a foundation of strong values. GCU's online degree program in cybersecurity makes it...
In this video, I'd like to show you how to fix a common issue that you might face when trying to set the network setting to use a NAT network. So, for example, now I have Kali Linux, and if you want to modify the network setting for any of the virtual machines, you'd usually come into settings and you'd go to network, and you can set the network setting from here. Now, if you go to a NAT network, you'll see that I can select this particular network, 1020.14 NAT, and this network has been automatically created by Virtualbox, so I actually didn't need to create it. But sometimes Virtualbox, for some reason, doesn't actually create this network automatically. So once you select a NAT network, you see in the name here that there is no networks and that you can't select anything. So if you had that issue, all you have to do is cancel this, go to Virtualbox, Preferences, go to Network, and in here just click the plus sign. Now you can see it created another network for me called NAT network. So click on OK. Then you can go back to the machine that you want to set the network setting for. For example, let's go back to Kali Linux, go to Settings, Network, select NAT network, and you'll see that you can select the new network that you created right here. So we have the network that we just created now, and it's called NAT network. So you can select that, press OK, and now your settings are set.
Perfect. That was easy.
To have internet connection, it will also allow them to communicate with each other, and it will do all of this through a virtual network. It will not use any of your wireless adapters or any of your wireless cards. It will create a virtual Ethernet network. So as far as the virtual machine is concerned, they're gonna think that they're connected to a network through a wire. Now, if you're on Virtualbox 6 and have a screen with high resolution, you need to go to Display and set the scale factor to 200%, because otherwise the virtual machine screen will be too small. But only do this if you have a screen with a high resolution and if you're using Virtualbox 6. Otherwise, keep this option the way it is. Now, we're done with this. I'm gonna click on OK, and we can start this virtual machine like any other virtual machine. We just click on it and we click on Start. Now I'm gonna click inside the virtual machine and hit enter.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the video here and go on further from there. So thank you for watching my video. It's been really fun. I'm gonna start the next video soon after I smoke and eat something, and then we'll continue from there. Thank you for watching.